I stand at the kitchen window, watching Olivia water her roses in the morning sun. Her auburn hair catches the light as she bends over the flower bed, and for a moment, everything feels exactly as it should. 15 years of marriage, and she still takes my breath away. "Coffee's ready," I call out, and she turns, flashing that smile that made me fall in love with her at 23. "You're an angel," she says, stepping through the patio doors. Her hand brushes mine as she takes the mug, and I feel that familiar warmth spread through my chest. This is our routine. Has been for years. I make the coffee, she tends the garden, and we start each day together before I head to the accounting firm and she goes to her design studio. Perfect suburban harmony. But lately, something's been different. Subtle shifts that I've been telling myself don't mean anything. The way she checks her phone more often, how she started closing her laptop when I walk into the room, the new perfume she bought without mentioning it. "What time will you be home tonight?" I ask, settling beside her at the breakfast bar. "Late. I've got that client meeting, remember? The Henderson renovation." She doesn't meet my eyes when she says it, focusing instead on stirring her coffee. I nod, though I don't remember her mentioning any Henderson renovation. "I'll keep dinner warm. Don't wait up. It might run really late." That phrase has become more common recently. Really late. As if she's preparing me for longer and longer absences. The mail carrier's truck rumbles past our window and Olivia jumps slightly. "I should grab the mail," she says, already moving toward the door. "I'll get it," I offer, but she's already outside. Through the window, I watch her sort through the envelopes at the mailbox, her movements quick and nervous. She stuffs several pieces into her purse before bringing the rest inside. "Anything interesting?" I ask. "Just bills. The usual." But her voice is tight, controlled. After she leaves for work, I find myself standing in our bedroom, looking at the space we've shared for over a decade. Her side of the closet seems different somehow. New clothes I don't recognize. A jewelry box that's been rearranged. I'm being paranoid. This is Olivia, my Olivia. The woman who cried when I surprised her with a weekend getaway for our 10th anniversary. Who still leaves little notes in my lunch bag. Who tells everyone we're her perfect match. But the doubt creeps in anyway, a cold whisper in the back of my mind. That evening, she doesn't come home until after midnight. I pretend to be asleep when she slips into bed, but I feel the tension in her body, the way she carefully positions herself to avoid touching me. "How was the meeting?" I whisper. She stiffens. "Fine. Good. The Hendersons are demanding clients." The lie sits heavy in the darkness between us. I know it's a lie because I can hear it in her voice, in the way she pauses before answering. But I don't call her on it. Not yet. Instead, I lie awake listening to her breathe, wondering when my perfect life started cracking at the edges. The phone bill arrives on a Tuesday. Olivia's already left for work, and I'm sorting through the mail with my morning coffee when I see it. Our cell phone statement, thicker than usual. I almost set it aside. Olivia usually handles the bills, but something makes me open it. Maybe it's the way she's been guarding her phone lately, or how she suddenly started taking calls in the other room. The numbers blur together at first, pages and pages of calls and texts. Then one number starts to stand out. A number that appears dozens of times, sometimes for hours at a stretch. Late-night calls, early morning texts. My hands shake as I count. 47 calls to this number in the past month. Hundreds of text messages. I know every number Olivia calls regularly. Her mother, her sister, her best friend Sarah, her business contacts. This number doesn't belong to any of them. The coffee turns bitter in my mouth as I stare at the evidence. There's no innocent explanation for this. No work project that requires 47 phone calls to the same person. No client who needs texts at midnight and 6 in the morning. I set the bill down and walk to the kitchen window, looking out at Olivia's roses. They're blooming beautifully, just like everything else in our perfectly maintained life. But underneath, something is rotting. My phone buzzes with a text from Olivia. "Working late again tonight. Don't wait up. Love you. Love you." The words that used to warm my heart now feel hollow, automatic, a habit she hasn't broken yet. I dial the mysterious number. My finger hovers over the call button for a long moment before I press it. It rings twice before a man's voice answers. "Hey, gorgeous. Miss me already?" The words hit me like a physical blow. Gorgeous. The casual intimacy in his voice tells me everything I need to know. This isn't some new client or business contact. This is someone who expects Olivia to be calling him, someone who calls her gorgeous. I hang up without saying anything. The house feels different now. Every room holds memories that might be lies. The kitchen where we have breakfast together. The living room where we watch movies on Sunday afternoons. The bedroom where I can't finish the thought. Instead, I go to my desk and pull out a legal pad. If Olivia is having an affair, I need proof. Real proof. Not just a phone bill and a stranger's voice. I write down the number, the dates and times of the calls, the pattern that's emerging. She calls him after I leave for work. He calls her during her lunch breaks. They text late into the night, long after she's told me she's too tired to talk. This isn't a recent development. Looking at the bill, I can see this has been going on for months, while I was making her coffee and keeping dinner warm and believing her lies about late client meetings. The betrayal cuts deeper than I expected. Not just the affair, but the deception. The careful way she's been living two lives, managing both of us like items on her calendar. I close the legal pad and put it in my desk drawer. Tonight, when she comes home with another excuse about working late, I won't be waiting in bed pretending to sleep. I'll be watching, planning. The perfect life I thought we had is over. Now I need to decide what comes next. I start small, paying attention to details I used to ignore. The way Olivia showers immediately when she comes home, even on days she claims to have been at her desk all afternoon. How she's started parking her car in the driveway instead of the garage, making quick exits easier. Thursday evening, she kisses my cheek and tells me she's meeting Sarah for drinks. "Girl talk," she says with a laugh that sounds rehearsed. "You know how it is." After her taillights disappear around the corner, I get in my own car and follow. Olivia doesn't go to any of the restaurants she and Sarah usually visit. Instead, she drives across town to an upscale district I rarely have reason to visit. She parks outside Meridian Towers, a luxury apartment complex with a doorman and valet service. I watch from across the street as she walks into the lobby like she belongs there. No hesitation, no checking the directory. She knows exactly where she's going. 20 minutes later, a man joins her. Mid-30s, athletic build, expensive suit. He kisses her the moment the elevator doors close behind them. I sit in my car for 3 hours, waiting. When they finally emerge, Olivia's hair is mussed and her lipstick is gone. She straightens her clothes in the lobby mirror before stepping outside. The man, I've started thinking of him as him, like a disease with no name, walks her to her car. Their goodbye kiss lasts longer than any kiss she's given me in months. I follow her home, staying far enough back that she won't notice. She arrives 15 minutes before I do, just enough time to shower and put on pajamas and settle on the couch with a book. "How was girls' night?" I ask, sitting beside her. "Oh, you know Sarah. Same old drama with her ex." She doesn't look up from her book. "How was your evening?" "Quiet. Watched some TV." The lie comes easily. We're both liars now, I suppose. Over the next week, I establish the pattern. She meets him Tuesday and Thursday evenings, telling me she's working late or out with friends. Saturday afternoons, she claims to be running errands but spends 3 hours at his apartment instead. I take pictures. Not of them together. I'm not ready for that level of proof yet, but of her car parked outside Meridian Towers. Of the building directory that shows Jay Harrison lives in apartment 12B, of Olivia checking her reflection in shop windows before going inside. Each photograph feels like evidence in a case I'm building, though I'm not sure yet what verdict I'm seeking. The worst part isn't the affair itself. It's watching her lie so effortlessly. The way she maintains perfect eye contact when she tells me about her fictional errands. How she still says "I love you" every morning, like the words mean nothing. Friday night, she cancels her usual arrangement. "I'm tired," she tells Harrison when she thinks I'm in the shower. I'm actually standing outside the bedroom door, listening to her end of the conversation. "David's been clingy lately. I think he suspects something." Clingy. The word stings more than it should. I've been the same husband I've always been. Attentive, loving, trusting. Maybe that's the problem. That weekend, I watch her tend her roses with new eyes. Her movements are methodical, practiced. She deadheads the spent blooms with surgical precision, cutting away anything that's no longer perfect. I wonder if that's how she sees me now. Something that needs to be pruned away. Sunday evening, I make my decision. The surveillance phase is over. I have enough evidence to know the truth. What I need now is a plan for what comes next. Olivia is in the kitchen, prepping for another busy week of deception. She hums while she works, the same tune she's hummed for years. It should be comforting, familiar. Instead, it sounds like a funeral dirge for our marriage. "I love watching you work," I say, and she smiles at me. "You're sweet." Sweet. Another word that tastes like ash now. I'm not sweet. I'm patient. There's a difference. But my patience is almost gone. Tuesday arrives with unusual clarity. I call in sick to work, telling my assistant I need a personal day. The lie feels appropriate somehow, given how much practice I've had lately. Olivia follows her routine perfectly. She kisses my forehead and tells me to feel better, that she'll be working late again. The concern in her voice might even be genuine, though it's hard to tell anymore. "I'll probably be asleep when you get home," I say. "I'll try not to wake you." After she leaves, I shower and dress carefully. Dark clothes, gloves, the kind of practical preparations I've been thinking about for days without quite admitting it to myself. I drive to Meridian Towers and park in the visitor section. The doorman recognizes me from my surveillance, or thinks he does. I've learned that confidence can substitute for familiarity in most situations. "Here to see Mr. Harrison in 12B?" I tell him. He nods and waves me toward the elevators. No questions asked. Security theater at its finest. The hallway outside Harrison's apartment is quiet, carpeted in expensive-looking burgundy that muffles footsteps. I can hear music playing inside, something classical and pretentious, the kind of thing Olivia claims to enjoy but never listens to at home. I use the lockpick set I ordered online last week. Another practical skill I never thought I'd need. The deadbolt turns after 2 minutes of careful work. They're in the living room. Olivia is curled against Harrison on his leather sofa, wearing a red dress I've never seen before. They're drinking wine and laughing at something on his tablet. She looks happier than she has in months, more relaxed, more herself. The jealousy hits first, hot and immediate. Then comes the rage, cold and calculating. "Don't get up," I say, stepping into their line of sight. Olivia gasps and jerks away from Harrison, spilling wine across her new dress. Harrison starts to stand, but something in my expression stops him. "David, I can explain." "No need." My voice sounds strange to my own ears, controlled in a way I didn't know I was capable of. "I've been watching for weeks. I know exactly what this is." Harrison finds his courage. "Look, buddy, I think you should—" I hit him before he can finish the sentence. Not a wild swing driven by emotion, but a precise strike to his solar plexus that drops him back onto the sofa, gasping. "David!" Olivia scrambles toward me, but I hold up a hand that stops her cold. 15 years, I say to her. 15 years of marriage, and this is what it means to you." Tears are streaming down her face, but I feel nothing looking at them. No sympathy, no urge to comfort her. Harrison tries to speak again, and I hit him harder this time. The sound of his nose breaking is surprisingly satisfying. "Please stop," Olivia whispers. "Did you stop?" I ask. "When you were here Tuesday night, did you think about stopping? When you bought that dress and put on that perfume and came here to fuck him, did you stop and think about me at home making dinner for 2 people?" Each question is punctuated by another precise strike. Harrison's face is swelling, blood streaming from his nose and mouth, but he's still conscious, still aware of what's happening. "I want you to remember this," I tell him conversationally. "Every time you think about pursuing a married woman, I want you to remember what it cost you." The final blow leaves him unconscious, slumped against the expensive sofa cushions. Olivia is sobbing now, backing toward the door. "David, please. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll end it. I swear I'll—" "You'll what?" I straighten my shirt, checking my knuckles for damage. "You'll lie to me some more? You'll find new and creative ways to betray our marriage vows?" "I love you," she whispers. The words hang in the air like smoke. I consider them for a moment, testing how they feel. "No," I say finally. "You don't. You love the security I provide, the stable home, the perfect life I've built for us. But you don't love me." I walk past her toward the door. "Clean yourself up. We have lawyers to call." By the time Olivia arrives home, I've already spoken to Richard Sterling, the best divorce attorney in the city. The same attorney who handled the Morrison case last year, the one where the husband walked away with everything after proving adultery. "David, please, we need to talk." Olivia's voice is raw from crying, but I don't look up from the papers spread across the dining room table. There's nothing to discuss. Richard's filing the papers tomorrow morning. She sits across from me, her hands shaking. The red dress is gone, replaced by jeans and one of my old college sweatshirts. The irony isn't lost on me. "I'll fight this," she says. "You can't just destroy our marriage because I made a mistake." "A mistake?" I finally look at her. 3 months of systematic deception is a mistake. 47 phone calls is a mistake. Her face goes white. "You've been tracking my calls. I've been documenting everything. The phone records, the credit card statements showing your purchases at lingerie stores I've never heard of, the mileage on your car that doesn't match your claimed whereabouts." I tapped the stack of papers. Richard was impressed with my thoroughness. "This is insane. You're talking about our entire life together." "No, I'm talking about the life you decided wasn't enough for you." I slide a document across the table. "This is the emergency injunction freezing our joint accounts. As of this morning, you can't access any of our savings, our investment portfolio, or the home equity line of credit." She stares at the paper like it's written in a foreign language. "How can you do this?" "Adultery is still grounds for fault-based divorce in this state, which means I can ask for everything." I lean back in my chair, studying her face. "And Richard thinks I'll get it." The next week passes in a blur of legal maneuvers. Richard moves fast, filing for exclusive use of the house, temporary alimony denial, and asset protection orders. Each filing is another nail in the coffin of Olivia's comfortable life. She tries to hire her own attorney, but the best firms won't take her case without a substantial retainer. The accounts she can't access. The salary from her design studio barely covers her basic expenses, let alone legal fees. "You're being cruel," she tells me when she comes to collect more of her belongings. "This isn't like you." I'm sitting in my study, reviewing Richard's latest strategy memo. "Maybe you never really knew me. I know you're not this vindictive person. The David I married would never. The David you married trusted his wife. That David is gone." She stands in the doorway for a long moment, holding a box of her things. "What about forgiveness? What about second chances? What about Harrison's broken nose? What about the 3 months you spent in his bed while lying to my face? I set down the memo and look at her directly. Did you think about second chances then? The question hangs unanswered. Olivia leaves without another word. By the end of the month, the full scope of her financial ruin becomes clear. The house is mine, along with our savings and investments. Her design studio is struggling without her full attention, clients leaving as word of the divorce spreads through our social circle. Richard calls with updates that sound like military victory reports. She's agreed to the settlement, no contest. She'll keep her car and her personal belongings, but everything else stays with you. And the alimony? Waived. She can't afford to keep fighting, and she knows we have enough evidence to bury her if this goes to trial. The papers arrive for my signature on a Thursday, the same day of the week she used to meet Harrison at Meridian Towers. The symmetry feels appropriate. I sign my name with a steady hand, officially ending 15 years of marriage. It should feel momentous, final. Instead, it feels like completing a business transaction, which I suppose is exactly what it is. 3 months after the divorce is finalized, I run into Sarah at the grocery store. Olivia's former best friend looks uncomfortable when she sees me, like she's not sure what the appropriate protocol is for greeting the ex-husband of someone she used to consider family. "David," she says, attempting a smile. "How are you?" "Better than expected. I genuinely mean it." "How's Olivia?" Sarah's expression darkens. "She's struggling. She had to move in with her sister after the studio went under, and Harrison won't return her calls." The information should give me pause, maybe even trigger some residual sympathy. Instead, I feel only a mild satisfaction, like learning that a stock I shorted performed exactly as predicted. "I'm sorry to hear that," I say, though we both know I'm not. "She asks about you sometimes, whether you're seeing anyone, how you're doing." "And what do you tell her?" Sarah shifts uncomfortably. "That it's not my place to share your business." Good answer. After Sarah leaves, I continue my shopping with a lightness I haven't felt in months. The small apartment I rent across town suits me perfectly. No garden to maintain, no roses to tend, no elaborate meals to prepare for someone who won't be home to eat them. The freedom is intoxicating. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. I almost delete it unread, but something makes me open it. "David, it's Olivia. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know how sorry I am. I destroyed everything good in my life, and I can't stop thinking about what we had. Is there any chance we could talk? Just talk?" I read the message twice, then delete it without responding. Later that evening, I'm having dinner at a restaurant downtown when I see her. Olivia is sitting alone at the bar, nursing a glass of wine and staring at her phone. She looks older than she did 6 months ago, worn down by the consequences of her choices. She hasn't noticed me yet, and I have time to study her without the complicated emotions that used to accompany such observations. The woman I loved for 15 years now looks like a stranger. Someone I might feel sorry for if I didn't know her story. Her phone lights up with what's probably my lack of response to her text. She stares at the screen for a long moment, then finishes her wine and leaves cash on the bar. I don't follow her. Don't feel compelled to offer comfort or closure or whatever it is she might be seeking. That night, I sleep better than I have in months. The apartment is quiet, free from the tension that had filled our house during those final months of surveillance and suspicion. For the first time since finding that phone bill, I feel truly at peace. The monster I discovered inside myself during those dark weeks hasn't disappeared entirely. I can feel it sometimes, lurking beneath the surface of my new calm. But it's controlled now, leashed by my own will and the knowledge that justice was served. Olivia made her choices. Harrison paid his price. And I've reclaimed my life from the wreckage of their deception. The roses in our old garden are probably dead by now. The new owners will likely plant something else, something that suits their vision of the perfect home. I won't miss them. 1 year later, I'm standing in the lobby of a hotel in Denver, waiting for my colleague Jennifer to meet me for dinner. The business trip has gone well. A new client, a challenging project, the kind of work that reminds me why I chose this profession. Jennifer appears from the elevators, smiling as she approaches. We've been working together for 6 months now, and I find myself looking forward to these interactions in a way that surprises me. "How did the presentation go?" she asks as we walk toward the restaurant. "Better than expected. They want to sign a 3-year contract." "Congratulations." Her smile is genuine, uncomplicated. "Dinner's on me then." Over wine and conversation, I realize something has shifted. The careful walls I built after the divorce are starting to lower, just slightly. Jennifer is divorced too, with her own story of betrayal and recovery. We understand each other's caution without having to explain it. "Do you ever miss it?" she asks during dessert. "The marriage, I mean. Not the person, but the idea of it." I consider the question seriously. I miss the version of it I thought I had, but that was never real. "No," she agrees. "It wasn't. We don't make any promises or declarations. Neither of us is ready for that kind of vulnerability yet. But there's potential here, the possibility of something built on truth rather than assumption." My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Another message from Olivia, probably. She's tried to contact me several times over the past year, each attempt more desperate than the last. I don't read it. Some stories end when you stop participating in them. Instead, I focus on Jennifer's laughter as she tells me about her daughter's latest school play. The sound is light and unguarded, free from the careful calculations I learned to recognize in Olivia's voice. After dinner, we walk through downtown Denver, the mountain air crisp and clean. The city feels full of possibilities, the way places do when you're not carrying the weight of someone else's lies. "I had a good time tonight," Jennifer says as we reach her hotel. "So did I." We part with a brief hug, professional but warm. Nothing rushed or desperate, just two people taking their time to build something real. Back in my room, I finally check the text message. But it's not from Olivia. It's from Richard Sterling, my attorney. "Thought you'd want to know. Olivia filed for bankruptcy yesterday. The Harrison settlement finally caught up with her. She's lost everything." I set the phone aside and look out at the Denver skyline. The news should affect me somehow. Triumph or sympathy or some complicated mixture of both. Instead, I feel only a distant acknowledgement, like reading about a natural disaster in a country I've never visited. Olivia's destruction is complete, but it's no longer connected to my sense of justice or satisfaction. She's simply someone who made choices and is living with the consequences. My own choices have led me here, to a hotel room in a city full of strangers, rebuilding a life based on honesty rather than assumption. It's not the life I planned 15 years ago, but it's mine in a way that marriage never was. Tomorrow, I'll fly home to my small apartment and my work, and my gradually expanding social circle. Jennifer will be there potentially when we're both ready, or someone else will be. Or maybe I'll discover that solitude suits me better than I expected. The point is that the choice is mine to make, free from deception and manipulation, and the careful theater of a love that was never as real as I believed. The roses in my old garden are definitely dead by now. But somewhere else in some other garden, new flowers are blooming. And for the first time in longer than I can remember, that feels like enough. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Your support helps the algorithm push my content further. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep creating more stories for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.